Hey guys, it's Zek from TierZero Game, and today we're here with who?
With Yusuf Nisar.
What was you playing?
I played Tenpai, going first.
And what did you end up doing?
Top 32 of the YCS. So
Okay, cool.
Pretty decent.
Any shout outs before we get in, or do you want to get straight into the profile?
I can give shout outs at the end.
All good.
Okay,
Cool.
so we'll start with the. You know what? We start with the side deck because it's just not. There's nothing spicy in here. So we go 3 Chummy, 3 GD Crow, 3 Cosmic Cyclone, a extra nib, Sparky, Judgment, and I guess technically you're not going to see this in Tenpai list, but Anti-Spell. I can say that the best card in the side deck probably was GD Crow, surprisingly, because of Memento and all the rogue decks that have Voiceless, because those are the harder matchups. I just don't really know how to play into them. We're going to the main deck. Standard, more standard. This is not standard, but then I'm going first, so I'm going to grind, so I definitely want to Padro. And I'm missing a flipping Genroku.
Where is it? There it is.
There it is. Okay, so obviously I'm not used to deck profiles. Standard, 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 standard. Then again, pretty standard. You're always gonna play this. Ash, Trinip. Imperm is Imperm, even though I don't like Imperm. I'm saying that because I was playing the board breaker version. It always feels like it doesn't do enough. But you're gonna end up playing these. You're gonna play a deck where you're like, wow, I did Imperm, and they just have a floodgate. They have the entire board, and it's like, it's just generic. It's like, why not? Shifter. I wasn't playing Ash. I was actually maining Drolls before, because main game ones people just don't play around Droll. Like, they get punished. But then I realized that Ash is Ash, but the main thing was it's a fire, and it did come up rarely. But if I really had to open Fadra, I stall them out. They might have a big body. I normal summon Ash, make heater, crash, Genroku damage step, and it was a threat to game. So Ash actually came up. Did it come up today to normal summon it? I did once, but he had the imp for heater, so it is what it is. Nibiru, I don't think Nibiru is great in this format. I'm only playing, 11 of these. Technically, Maga's the 12 hand trap. Obviously, by itself, everyone says, oh, you know, Phantom, this, that, and the other. Caesar, it's been really good because Nibiru is the card that still does the job. If it trades for 1-for-1, Ash does the same, Impam does the same. Shifter's the only blower. But when Nibiru goes in, it does what Nibiru does and it clears the board. If they've challenged me, which luckily today not a single person actually resolved the challenge except to draw 2 because the hand was that bad. And because I'm going first, you see why this card is ridiculous going first, because if you have Seals plus Nib, it's the same as Imperm Nib. It's literally the same thing, but probably better.
Here comes the spice.
And then, they're two, like, I guess, core buys, but I had 2 options in the deck to play 2 cards that were like, maybe like a blower or something that I just wanted to have in the deck. It's core buy, like, I'm going first. Yes, it stops hand traps, but core buy in this meta is actually very threatening. Like, you core buy the Phantom, core buy any Snake Eye card. There's so many things that randomly come up. Actually, in one of my voices match, the opponent, I have nothing. I have Nibiru, he makes full board, he overcommits, and he decides, I go normal summon, he uses one of the continuous spells, he tributes low, and I couldn't believe my eyes. He summoned Skull Guardian, 1-2, Shane Cowboy. I couldn't believe it, and I won that game. Like, I should never win that game, but it came in clutch, so we'll take that. The other card I chose to main was Duster. It's Duster, like, you will just have those matchups where it's like, well, even if you go first, you never complain about the card. I'm not playing Thrust, but it will just come up, and if I'm going first, you'll see why in a minute. You want cards like this to just outgrind your opponent. If you play other trap decks, other back row decks, you want something in the main range just like hit the field, and they're like, okay, they don't know how to react because when they see the other cards, they're like, why am I playing these cards? I've already messed with their brain with the list as it is. And then when you hit them with this, they're like, what the fuck? And then against Yubel, Snake Eye, it still does the same thing. Get rid of pain, get rid of cards. Yeah. And again, it could be 1-for-1, but it's whatever, it happens. I barely drew it though, and when I finally drew it, he actually anti-spell.
Yeah.
So that is what it is. I'm going first, right? A lot of people actually don't like this trap. I used to play this trap before, even going second. I know it's kind of stupid. It was just because if you go first, it was a viable play because no one really knew how to play around it. What happened not today, but what has happened is that when I searched this, they now know, okay, they have Kai-Ho. They can't understand the whole battle phase thing, can clear the board. So they play around it by maybe a Phoenix pop it, but if they go into Phoenix, they've got 2 bodies, so you're gonna resolve this. What's happened, people got Engraver, Equip, they tried to send a monster, I hold the Kaiman, I let them commit, I Kaiman, I get the Genroku, all of a sudden they're in battle phase. But what's happened once or twice, I thought this was in main phase 1. I learned it's any main phase. So when they go into battle phase, and they've cleared my 1 monster, you just hold the Kaiman or you use it in battle phase. Main phase 2, 2 monsters, you end the turn. It came up once, not today, but in testing. But the reason why I do this is to mess with your head. Why? Because if I'm searching this, you are definitely not expecting this. So here's the spice, here's the goo. The MVP today was actually Solemn Strike. We'll talk about that in a minute. But the plan is when my hand is good enough and I'm going first, if I see shifter, but we'll get back to it in a minute, I will actually go for this deliberately. They now kind of mentally messed up because they're like, well, okay, here's the Kai-Ho and the seals. They kind of know what you're going to do. They concentrate this card so much, they forget about all this. And then what happens is, this doesn't even resolve. They play into these and they look at me thinking, what's happening? Post-siding is even worse. If I win game 1, they don't know what to do. Post-siding, I always keep in Solemn Strikes. Depending on the matchup, I might keep in Dorimo or Torrential, but most of the time I'll be siding these 6 out. And you see in the side deck, it's just hand traps and other cards that just kind of do what Tenpai do. And if you've won game 1 anyway, they still might make me start. So if they make me start, it's funny because I'm going to put the Drago in, you still have the strikes, and I kind of, depending on the matchup, I will kind of, side certain board cards that are bad, keep a few traps in, and now they just don't know what to play around because they play around this, they don't play on the hand trap. The best time is having this card and Nibiru. That's why I played the 3rd Nib, because when I go first, this card's going to resolve 99% of the time. If this card hasn't resolved, it's because you lost to what was on the board already. So this is either the contingency or the Nibiru is. The other thing with this card, why is MVP? Everyone thinks, oh, but I just asked the Kaiman, I augur the field well, I valor you. How are you doing that when I'm going to Solemn Strike in response? And then you can't chain, and then it resolves and it's too late then. You can have more, it's irrelevant. I've got 2 bodies, I'm going to go quick synchro, I'm going to do all the stuff. This card also, YuGiOh love thinking, oh, they're going to resolve all these effects. It happened in Top Cut. He went Viral Just, attack, effect to pop. I struck it, he just had a Phantom. He was playing around Torrential because game 1 I Torrential twice, but unfortunately my hands weren't good enough to beat his hand traps. So the whole time again, he's only playing around Torrential now. I derived him, I top deck strike, I distract him. Now he didn't know what to do. He threw a game because he started to misplay, and then he played into Nibiru. So he ended up with like maybe 45 cards extra deck. At that point, it's just Engraver, and my top decks at that point is I see 1 normal summon and I win. And that's what ended up happening. Unfortunately, top 32, I lost in time. Game 3, it is what it is. I drew 5 dragons. He went 1 minute left on time, he goes red resonate. I accepted it, I couldn't complain, it is what it is. I'll put these away, but actually, to be fair, you might think if there was a card to maybe change, was Torrential, because I didn't see it at all until Top Cut, and because it's against YuGiOh, I would say I definitely misplayed with it because I used it when he had YuGiOhs on field, and because I actually haven't used it all tournament, I just completely went into like brain fart moment, and I went, oh, he has bodies, oh wait, I should have just waited for him to link it off and he can actually get an advantage from it. But besides that, I might keep it in, or I might cut it down to 2 and look for another trap today.
Cool, so 40 card main deck?
40 card main deck.
And you choose to go first?
I choose to go first, yes.
Cool. Now extra deck.
The extra deck, it's all pretty standard. You got the 10s, you got the 7s, the 2 boxes. Seals, obviously you're going first, you definitely play 2. I just stuck to Princess and Hita. This, it works in theory. Again, when I summoned this, it got impermed or dropleted. When I finally made this, funny enough, he debarred me, but actually it was irrelevant because I had this, I had 4 bodies, I killed him. And then this, you're playing, I'm seeing some lists play it, but when I'm playing this list, I think I would definitely always play it because if I can kind of push a little bit off your board, I can Typhon to bait another card. I don't really care about its effect that you know, the 3,000 more attack, because YuGiOh was the most represented deck. As long as it trades with the card, it's good enough. Because what happened against an opponent who had SP, Escaped, and all these cards, he saw this, he went Solar Rage, he got rid of this, made with the Solar Rage, made SP, banish field spell, perfect. Why? Because I just set free pass. What are the free cards? The Rumor, I think Strike, and I had Nibbit Hand again, something like that. Now, I don't care about him getting my field spell because the field spell is actually a lot more bait for me because they're never going to play on the back row. And in those cases where I open like 3 normal summons, a torrential, I should never win those matches. But they always think the back row is dead. And it came up once where a YuGiOh player had escaped. I have Daruma, Solemn Strike. I deliberately set Daruma in the column of escaped. He said sure. I said, are you sure? He's now thinking he's imperm, so he didn't pop it. I set 1 more. He let me go, he passed. He makes Phantom. Now he does it, he goes escape. I Daruma. He sends the Rage. He misses on the Yama. And he has a Phantom. And I have a Nibiru. He goes full, he rebuilds the entire board. I Nib, he goes Phantom, I Solemn Strike. That was pretty much it. And I have Fragile in hand to follow up.
YuGiOh used all the extra
It was
cards
just,
as well, yeah.
yes, and they went, 1 player went to 2 cards in extra deck and I just sat there. I actually lost that match. Why? Because he had Ash, Vela, Ash, and I had nothing. So it is what it is. I accept those things because it's part of the game, but it shows that I can go second with this deck, even through full boards, because they misplay around what I have. So that was the advantage of the deck. So, you know.
Cool. Okay. Any shout outs?
Shout out Jakai, you know you're watching this. He's the one person who actually believed me and said to top and said to play the trap version. I honestly sat there thinking, right, you know what, I've tested Striker Tenpai, which I liked a lot. I played the board breakers, but I knew why the board breakers were bad. The reason why I changed the deck in the first place, 5 to 6 YuGiOh players told me that they could protect with Muckracker when I use Raigeki. And because there's 5 to 6 differences about 2 weeks ago, I believe them. Last Thursday I was told, haha, they're marked for destruction, you can't. Now I was like, do I go back to the old build? This build I actually tested about 2.5 weeks. On DB I went on like a 12-win streak and I was like, there's no way this is real. Like, there's no way I'm going to register this. And I said, okay, I have not played any other version for 2 weeks. I'm doing it. I committed and I mean, look where it got me. Because I think if I played the other versions, I don't think I top because everyone kind of knows how to play into them, but they never play around my traps. So there's
winning by surprise, basically.
Winning by surprise, yeah. Also, shout out to the Stink Boys. They know who they are, so there's that. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Well, congratulations again, and we hope to see you in the future.
No, definitely. Well, hopefully, let's see.